So on this Sunday we have a beautiful readings from the book of Isaiah. All the three readings are full of joy and hope. So in this context, this year, 2025, Pope Francis inaugurated the Jubilee year. What is that Jubilee year? Jubilee of hope. Jubilee of hope. Pilgrims of hope. This is why the first reading, Prophet Isaiah very powerfully brings, this is the last chapter, chapter 66 of the concluding chapter of Prophet Isaiah. It says, Jerusalem is transformed. So the readings, what it says, rejoice with Jerusalem and be glad for her. All you who love her, rejoice with her joy. All you who mourn over her. So Jerusalem, the prophet Isaiah begins with chapter 1. The condition of Jerusalem is desolate. Jerusalem is empty and ravaged and destroyed. So that scene at the end of the entire book, the Jerusalem is transformed. Why so much importance to Jerusalem is given? Because Jerusalem has the temple built by David and Solomon and so on, most magnificent, which is the central to the Jewish religious life. Religion is the temple. And they come from far and wide. Every year people used to come, different festivals, and most important was the Passover celebration. So that center, Jerusalem is the center. And when it was destroyed by the enemies and Assyrians and Babylonians and so on, Romans and so on, they were disheartened. So that was symbolic. So now what is the Jerusalem? Jerusalem signifies each one of us. So when we go far away from God, we know what we experience that. So then God, through prophet Isaiah, is prophesying there will be a complete transformation taking place. Jerusalem once again full of life and joy and children and abundance of people coming and worshipping that one. That is why Sunday for us also, people gather together, celebrating, coming together in large numbers. Many benches are empty, because many people, many masses, many people. But idea is that people come lovingly, willingly to come to the church and to pray and celebrate and participate. That is the importance of our life. So the interpretation and understanding is Jerusalem is now here. We are all part of this Jerusalem, making this Jerusalem beautiful by our presence, by our worship. And again in the second reading, St. Paul says, the last chapter of the Galatians, he speaks about the importance of the cross. The glory of our Christian life, it is on the cross, in the cross. Salvation is in the cross. Not through the observance of the law and commandments and so on, but all that is important. But most importantly, salvation came through Jesus Christ by his death on the cross. So that brings also a certain amount of joy and happiness. And Paul, at the end, it is saying, I am so blessed, I am at peace, because this cross, we have everything. We have salvation in our victory. The gospel also speaks about this joy. Jesus chose 70 disciples. Remember, this is the Gospel of Luke. Gospel of Luke has got 2 sending out the disciples. First, Jesus sends out the 12 apostles, representing the 12 tribes of Israel. 12 apostles are sent to the lost sheep of Israel. Here, Luke himself is a Greek man, and he speaks about salvation for all peoples. So at that time, it is considered that there are 70 nations throughout the world, 70 nations. So 70 disciples are chosen and sent to all these nations. So salvation, Jesus is sending, proclaiming the kingdom of God to all the nations, to all the peoples. So we are fortunate we have received this message. Jesus foresee that in that sending out the 70 disciples, and that mission continues. So today we are in the church because we are participating in the mission that is Jesus gave into the 70 disciples, and we are all part of that. So what happened on the way? Jesus said, do not get worried about luggage and food and things and so on, but your duty is to go and proclaim the good news. The kingdom of God is at hand. So whatever people give you, eat what is there set before you. So don't be anxious and worried. The only goal, the mission, is the focus to bring the God's kingdom to everyone, to all peoples. So the disciples went and they proclaimed, and they come back. They come back full of joy. What was this? The disciples said, even the Satan is subject to us. So they could cure, they could exorcise, cast out devils and demons, and people were all liberated. That is the sign of the kingdom of God. Kingdom of God has come with the healing power and exorcism, and the demons are cast out. So Jesus again reminds them, not only just be happy with all this, but rather rejoice because your name is written, your names are written there. So we are not boasting about our mission and our work, but to experience God's joy and peace in our hearts. A sense of peace elsewhere. So the Holy Father's message for us this year to walk this pilgrims of hope, giving people hope. There are people who are living hopelessly, situations. So the message is very clear. All of us, like the 70 disciples sent out, all of us have a mission. Mission to our family, to our neighborhood, to our society, in the church. We Christians have great duty and responsibility. So this mission is not just the disciples alone. Today, after 2000 years, we are part of this one church. Our church, apostolic church. And we can proudly say that we are happy to be part of this church, part of the mission. All of us share in the mission of Christ, bringing God's kingdom to every person, every individual, every family, and in our neighborhood. And that is the focus of our life, coming together in our prayer and worship. So what takes place during that time of Isaiah and Jerusalem transformation? This transformation also we need to experience more and more. So not just come to church and I want my prayer, my intentions alone, but a sense of the church, sense of community, sense of fellowship, sharing with one another, helping one another. That is the greatest joy that we can experience as God's people, God's chosen people. May Jesus bless us during this Jubilee year to live with great hope, share our joy with one another. Kingdom of God, that is a true experience of the true kingdom that we have experienced, His love and joy, and that joy must overflow, give to others unselfishly. Everyone must receive peace and joy of Christ.